So welcome back, everybody. This particular vehicle I'm working on today is a 2015 Acura TLX. So this vehicle is having several different faults. To begin with, it has several different errors on the dashboard. But the main primary reason for this repair is because this car cannot drive above 80 km per hour. So once you get to 80, the car only accelerates the engine and without accelerating the speed of the vehicle. So once I get to 80 km per hour, the vehicle just stop increasing speed. The only thing I will get is the engine accelerates, but the gear itself will stop changing. It will only maintain that 80 km per hour. No matter what I do, the car will not accelerate beyond that particular speed. And also, there are also several different error lights on the dashboard, from the vehicle stability assist to the brake system, the parking system. So no matter how I accelerate, the car won't move past 80 km. I also have a power steering light at the right side of the dashboard. So now, to begin diagnostics on this particular vehicle, I'm trying to decide what system to go after first, because I can either go after the brake system, the VSA, the power steering, or the transmission. I'm trying to decide the particular system to go after first. And because most of these vehicles, you could have a fault in a particular system, and every other system, maybe like 4 or 5 different systems, will be complaining of something related to just a particular system. So I need to be very careful and not to be making call on a wrong part or a wrong module. So to begin with, let me start by running a diagnostics on the whole system. So right now, the vehicle is identified as a 2015 Acura TLX. So let me proceed to get the fault that the systems are having on them. So from the scan, I have several different fault codes. Some FCAN communication malfunction, FCAN bus off malfunction, FCAN communication with precision always steer, gauge control module, VSA system malfunction, FCAN malfunction, bus off, and open in the outside air temperature. That one is easy to fix. VSA system malfunction, VSA brake actuator, EPS, electronic power steering control unit malfunction, lost communication. So I think I'm having a communication issue from this scan results. So I think what I'll do is I'll save this and I'll clear this and I'll rescan it, because most of these faults can be triggered by either a low battery at some point, so as to be very sure of getting fresh data. But first, let me proceed under the vehicle to actually do a visual inspection and know what is actually going wrong. So this is under the vehicle, and I can see some signs of some bad parts. So this particular part is the parking brake motor for the handbrake of the vehicle, and if you look at this connector, it's as if somebody has worked on it before. As you can see, the pins are even visible, although the owner also complained that once it passes through water, the parking light will start blinking automatically. This is what is causing it, because there will be a short here. So this is problem number 1 identified, although this is not our primary reason for diagnostics on this vehicle. Also, this other motor here is called the precision always steer actuator. This is responsible for tilting the rear wheels inward and outward during a steer or during cornering. So it makes the cornering very, very smooth. So this is the actuator responsible. This is one on the left side. It also has on the right side also. So this unit alone is a very expensive unit. So it moves the wheel inward and outward when you steer the vehicle. Also at the other side, which is the right side, we also have the same motors on the wheels also. This is the precision always steer actuator itself on the right side. It does the same exact thing it does on the left side, which is steer the rear wheel tire inward or outward. Also, it also has a parking brake motor for the parking brake. This is this. So if you look at this one, the connectors are firm compared to the other side, which has been worked on. Compared to this side, if you look carefully at this other side motor, you see the connector is not firm. So I'm thinking this is the particular reason for the blinking of the park light. So presently I'm taking this vehicle for another test drive, and I noticed that all the lights were gone, but immediately I get to 80 km/h, all this light just came back on, and I was actually running live data on the precision always steer module, and immediately the car stopped accelerating. I noticed the module just stopped communicating by itself. So I was thinking, what could be wrong here? Because it got me thinking, like, maybe it's behaving the same way some ABS module behaves. There are some ABS module for some Hondas that will stop communication above a particular speed. But even for those modules, when you want to start diagnosing them with live data, it will tell you that I am going to stop communication above either 40 or 50 km/h. At least you'll be informed. But this one, there's nothing like that. It just stopped communicating all of a sudden. So I would have to do my research if this is normal or not, because this doesn't look normal for me for this module. So after I go back to the workshop, I just tried doing some more visual inspection around the vehicle. Although I noticed some wirings that have been tampered with. All these are not supposed to be there, like this connection to this ground here. So maybe after I'm done, I will have to check why all of these are done and probably fix it back to the way the car came, because all these are not right. This relay is not supposed to be there. It doesn't come with this vehicle. So back to the precision always steer module that stopped communicating. After I turned off the car and restart again, it started communicating, and I checked the live data again. I can only get 3 different datas. Like, Acura, you guys need to do better now. Just 3. I can't get the motor speed, things like that. I can only get vehicle speed, position sensor, supply voltage, and battery voltage. So let me use a different count too. This is the ABS module. I came to check the ABS module, and the ABS module is complaining of the precision always steer module. So I checked the engine. This one is also complaining of the precision always steer malfunction, which is FCAN. So I checked the electronic power steering. This one is complaining of vehicle stability assist. And I checked this is the BCM. I think this one is just complaining of one of the wires at the bumper side. Then this another module is complaining of gauge control module lost communication with precision always steer. That is that same module that wasn't communicating. So now I'm going inside the module itself. Now it's not communicating. The module that stopped communication when I get to 80 km/h. So this module is located at the back in the trunk. So I was looking for maybe a bad signal, so that's why I'm using this oscilloscope to actually see something that looks abnormal. So that's what I'm doing first. So firstly, I confirmed there's power and ground getting to this module. In fact, I'm not supposed to check that, because if there's no power and ground, this module will not communicate in the first instance. So I think my main focus should just be signals to and from this particular module. I also confirmed that there is ignition getting to the vehicle. So for the signal wire is this red wire beside that violet wire. So after I back probe it, I can see a good signal. I didn't see any issue on this signal. This signal looks fine, and even as this signal is looking fine, I'm having good communication with the module. So what exactly could be going wrong with this vehicle? So the only way to actually get this module communicating back is by disconnecting power to it and connecting it back. So now the module is going to communicate now. So I'm going to try and communicate with the module again to confirm that now it's communicating. Okay. Now it's communicating, you see. The press root fault code. No, no fault code, it's communicating back. So the thing I feel about this car is when it is on motion, when everything is fine, when you start it initially in the morning or anytime, there will be no faults. Everything seems to work perfectly. But once you drive, immediately you get to 53 or 52 point something kilometer per hour, that module just stop communicating. It just goes dead. You understand? By the time I'm going to check it, the module is not alive. So the only way for me to actually bring it back to life is to disconnect power to the module and connect it back. Then the module comes alive. So because on this vehicle initially, while chasing the faults, I discovered that they've changed the ABS unit itself, and that ABS unit is not a cheap module. It's a very expensive module. But once I check it, I noticed the way the ABS module was complaining. The ABS module will complain of it's going to complain of this module. It's going to complain also of a CAN communication. So that actually gets me waving that what would be wrong. This module cannot be lying like that. If it's going to be lying, there's a different kind of code is going to be complaining, not that kind of code. You know, these things are just like algorithms. You have to play your cards, you understand? Just to know if something looks normal or not normal. To me, what that ABS is complaining of looks normal. Like the ABS knows what it's complaining about. But for that module that is going offline, it's not normal. So at the time it went offline, that's why I had to go to the module itself. I confirmed there's power to the module, there's ground to the module, and there is good communication to the module. And the module is not alive when I scanned it. So that is already a clear indication like that module is bad. So the only thing that gets me wavering about the module is, why is it when it gets to 52.8 or 53 km per hour, that is when that module goes dead? That is only what amazes me about the module. Like, if you drive below that kilometer for a long time, it's not going to trigger. It's not going to trigger that fault. It's not going to trigger any fault. It's not going to trigger those lights on the dash. But the moment you pass that kilometer, that 52.8, or you get to 53, everything is just going to go. You're just going to see different lights on the dashboard, and that module is going to go offline. So that is why I'm still trying to think what could be wrong. So let me just try to get that module, and I'm not sure, I don't know if that module is going to require any kind of programming, although it should, because it's controlling a motor. So it needs to know variation, if not programming, at least something kind of a calibration process, because of the motor movement, because it has position sensors inside. That actually has position sensors. So if I change the module, I might need to do something like a recalibration, and I'm not sure if my scans will be able to do that. Probably I'm going to need Acura's software directly to do that, because that is going to take a longer time to actually get a scan so that it's going to do that. But let's see how it goes, Dosha.
Sound City 98.5.
Now let's look at it now. If you can look at the number now, you see it's getting closer to that number. 40 something, yeah, 50, 52. If you look at now, it's getting close to that number. Yes. Now if you look at it, now if you see, immediately it got to 53.08. Immediately it got to 53.08. The whole thing just paused. So like that, it has stopped communicating. It has stopped communicating. I'm still driving. I don't want to operate the scanner now, unless I find somewhere and park and try to communicate back with it. Okay, let me back it. Okay, back again. Then I still have to go back one more time. Now let me try and communicate with it. Let me try and... Now if you look at it, it's somehow gray. It means it's not communicating. Now let me click enter now. You see communication failure. So that module has stopped communicating. The only way to make it communicate back is if I disconnect power to it and connect power back to it, then it starts communicating again. So once I park, I will do that. Let me look for somewhere to park and disconnect the module and connect it back, and it's going to start communicating. I think another way of doing that is shutting down the car. No, I'm not shutting down the car. Let me try that first. Now let me try and disconnect power to the module and connect it back. Oh, let me try shutting it down first. Let me try shutting it down. Let me shut the car down. Let me shut the car down. Okay. I think power will not be disconnected to the module because of the way the circuit is designed, but ignition will be disconnected from the module, and I don't think that ignition alone is enough to make it communicate again. So let me start it back. Now let me try and communicate with it. Let me try and communicate. No, this is not the module. Let me try and communicate with it. PAWS. Enter. Still no communication. Still no communication. So let me disconnect power to it actually. Let me disconnect power to the module. So this is the wire that carries the ignition. This one carries the main power to the module. Let me try and disconnect it. Yeah, I've disconnected it now. Now let me connect it back. Connected it back. Okay, now so let me try and communicate back with the module now that I disconnected power to it. Is this still recording? Yeah, still recorded. So let me communicate. Precision always steer. Enter. And boom. It's communicating again. So I'm 100% sure now that something is wrong with that module. Is either a relay is sticking down. Is there a relay inside that box? Yeah, there should be a relay inside that module. Something is wrong inside that module. But what is amazing me is why is it when it gets to 50 something, around 53 km/h, that is when the thing stops communicating. Unless you disconnect power to the module and connect power to it back, or if the module sits for a long time without the ignition, that means when you shut the car down for a long time to communicate again. So again, let me try and make it go offline again. I'm doing the test again. Let me look for where I can actually run, because I don't know. There's a little bit of traffic there. Now let's see. Yeah, it has stopped. This is around 52.78. So anything around that, going towards 53, around 53, it just goes off. So now let me try and increase the speed now, and let's see how it's going to behave. Okay. So once you stop communicating, it just hangs. So you can see now this is 52.78 and around 53 km/h. So with the way it's supposed now, it has actually stopped communicating. If I park and try and communicate back with it, I'm not sure. It's not going to communicate. It's not going to communicate. Let me go back. let me communicate. Enter. See, communication failure. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to disconnect power to that module, connect it back, and you see, you're going to see it's going to communicate. Okay, this is it. This middle one is one that carries power. I disconnected it. Let me connect it back. Okay, so let me try and communicate back with it. So now it's still writing communication failure. Okay, enter back. I'm not even going. Okay, let me go this way. PAWS. Alright, enter. Yeah, it started communicating again. Okay, enter. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it's communicating now. It's communicating just by disconnecting power to it. So I had to run some tests offline to actually know what is wrong, and I found out that this actuator is actually the main culprit. This actuator is supposed to be moving in and out, but this actuator itself is stuck. The motor is still good inside, but the actuator, the gearings inside it are so stuck. I've tried to free it. I've even loosed it out at some point to try to make it free. It won't loose free. So these actuators, both the one on the right and the left, will need to be changed to actually fix this problem. And also the module will need to be changed because it has been exposed so much to high current. Because the reason why the module actually was going offline then was because whenever it tries to control this motor, it sees a very high current. So it is actually trying to protect itself. That is when it goes offline. But at some point, it just gets stuck. And even though I tried to rescan it, I won't be able to communicate with it. So because of that, I had to change both the motors and the module together to actually fix the problem. And also, when we tried to get this module from Acura, it was $2,000 each. That is $4,000 for the pair. So we had to source it locally and we got it cheaper. That is used one. So the two actuators were replaced and the module was replaced also. And there was calibration done on it. And since then, everything works perfectly. And we couldn't actually film the whole process because we had to attend to other jobs in the workshop. But since the change was done, everything works perfectly. So this is after replacement of the part. I've not even cleared the fault code. I just did the calibration and I took the car on a test drive. Even from now, say if I can start seeing sign it's going above 80. Before, this car has not gotten to this speed in a very long time. Now I'm even around 90, going towards 100. At the point I got to 110. So the only thing remaining is just to clear fault code. And this red light blinking down here is for the parking brake. I will have to check why that one is still blinking. Probably because of that bad connector. I'll check that one later. But for now, the main primary issue has been fixed. So now for the parking brake, I came to check it now and I noticed some additional issues. Like this right side. Now if you look at the mounting edge, you see it's broken off. I think at a point it has been glued. So this will now allow the motor to be firm to the caliper. See the other side also, it has been glued. I think it has been broken off before. I think the most reason why this thing break off is maybe some technicians are trying to service the brake pad and they don't know how to disengage the parking brake, and they end up breaking the connectors or end up breaking the mounting point. You can see this is not firm. And then the other side, which is the left side, that one is having a pin contact issue. You can see the pin is so exposed. So whenever this car drives through water or flood, it's going to blink that park light because it's going to be a short in the circuit here. So the solution is to actually replace the right and left parking brake actuator completely. But for now, I'm just going to make it have a good connection and make it stable so that at least the park light blinking will stop. So now everything has been done right, and the fault code has been cleared from every module. As you can see now, there's no single fault on this vehicle now. The tire light you are seeing is from one of the tire at the rear that is low. So every other fault has been fixed.